Hello, hello, hello. What's good, everybody? It is Tuesday night, so we are back on track. We really did try to get it in on Monday, but life gets in the way and sleep schedules and just missed it by a hair. But hey, we're back on a regular night, Tuesday night. We'll try again from next Monday. But hey, the one who's going up and down and all around with me, the one, the only, number 70 Saint. How you doing tonight, brother?
Bro, DJ, I've been waiting to talk about this damn episode 3 and 4. And
Yes.
compared to the first season, I think episode 3 and 4, the first season, we didn't kind of we kind of said like they were like filler type episodes. But hey, it's like, the writers must knew this was gonna happen. So they said, okay, we're gonna give the next season episode 3 and 4. Cause that cliffhanger at episode 3 alone, I'm like, what? Of all people she turns out to be, it's that. We got you. We got you.
Oh, so good, so good. I was loving every minute of it. And you're right. They must have been listening to us or something. They're like, we can't just have any filler. It's too short to have any filler episodes. Let's just get it in and show them what's what and keep this thing going. Because it's been at tops the whole time. I am loving this season. I might be liking this season. I think Peter Griffin's right. I might be loving this season even more than the first season. What about you?
Yeah, I gotta agree. We just hope that this time around they stick the finale.
Yeah, exactly. That was it. And that's what my whole thing was the first time around. I just wasn't the biggest fan of how they ended it. Even loved the last episode, just didn't love how they ended it. Wasn't a big fan of like the last 7 minutes of it. So yeah, I hope they do a lot better this time around. But ladies and gentlemen, we are talking about the Umbrella Academy Season 2, Episode 3, and this is The Swedish Job. And that kind of threw me off right away. Why is it called The Swedish Job when they're barely even in this episode?
I don't even know what they even means. Why? Who's the Swedish people?
The Swedes, those three blonde assassins.
That's what they call them? I gotta write that down. That's probably a trivia question.
It was last week. You already missed it, so you ain't even got to sweat it. Absolutely. Yeah, those three are called the Swedes. And yeah, we learned more about them in this episode, but I didn't understand why they called the whole episode this when they were in it so little. But maybe it has more to do with that cliffhanger ending, and that's what they were talking about, because we still need to get filled in on that. And there's just so much to talk about. But first things first, I've touched on it before, and I swear, as soon as we got off that last stream last week, I almost wrote it in our little chat box. But again, I was like, because I meant to say something, and yeah, we were just kind of doing it. But why do we know everybody, including Ben's name, except for number 5?
Yeah, I think we mentioned that in the first season, or I mentioned it,
Mm-hmm.
and I was like, at what point did I'm guessing Grace was the one who named them? I guess
Mm-hmm.
gave them like real names. At what point does she like name like what event inspired her to say, okay, let's actually like start giving these individuals names? Because she was there when number 5 was there when Grace was around. So what was it?
Hey, Lindar, I see you out there. I see you. And I don't know if you remember, like, when they went up and they were talking about him and his big portrait was over the thing, and they were like, how did he die or whatever? And I kind of
Hmm.
made mention of it then, and now I'm 100% on it. But I'm feeling more than ever that number 5 is none other than Regional Hargraves himself.
You really think so?
100%. 100%. I swear to God, I almost wrote it in the chat box the second we got off. I was like, oh, yeah, what do you guys think about? And then after seeing these 2 episodes, 100%.
You really think that he is Regional Hargrave?
100%. That's why it was Diego out there fighting him and they didn't look at each other. And there's 100%. Why do we know everybody's name except for number 5's? Because his name is Regional Hargraves. That's what I'm talking about.
Oh my gosh!
I'm telling you, I'm feeling it. All the little spidey senses are tingling. They're 100%. Number 5 is Regional Hargraves. That's where I'm at with it. That
I
is.
love it. I co-sign to it. If it's so, that would be crazy. If this whole time it's him in plain sight, and
And I
that's why
don't
he
know.
probably was like, "Oh, just don't talk about time travel right now because you're a him." And like, oh my gosh! And he's just
And
pretty much making sure that he's a douchebag because the one he ended like, oh damn, just damn.
right? It has to be. It has to be. I'm like, yeah, they're both assholes. They both are the same. There's like that's why he was so mad about him jumping around, because he knows he messes with him. And we're gonna talk about it. Like, yeah, we got so much to talk about. But 100%, I am number 5 is Regional Hargraves himself. Because we've already seen him grow old. So we know he can be older and then come back to this form. So why couldn't he grow older in that timeline and be in this form? We know he's super smart. I don't know. The one guy that doesn't have his picture, part of that clique, yeah, 100% number 5 is Regional Hargraves. That's where I'm at. But we start this episode, and I love how they set it up and pay it off so perfect. Like, so many of our questions from last week just get answered right off the bat. Like, how did Claus become the prophet? And did Allison use her powers to get where she's at? And can Vanya still use her powers? Like, all these and more were answered in the episode. And, like, I applaud the show writers for, like, not dragging it out and catching us all up sooner than later. How about you? You like that?
Indeed. And also, like, hinting as why Ben wanted to go back to San Francisco. Because within that San Francisco section, you see he was like staring at that one black chick. So I was like, oh, so he pretty much had feelings for this chick, and that's why he want to go back to San Francisco. Interesting.
Absolutely. That's what I was thinking. And then right out of the gate, we see Claus like turning lemons into lemonade, like playing the victim and getting pampered by some naive yet very rich soul. It's like that. My man Claus knows what he's.
Indeed. But then eventually he started getting sick and tired of all this prophet stuff.
Yeah, absolutely. But Claus like trained with the rest of the academy. Like, wouldn't he have been able to handle himself a little bit better than getting tossed out the door by that scrawny little diner manager?
I don't know, man. I don't know. Like I said in the first season, what the hell is he gonna do against those bank robbers?
Hey, man, Claus was up there running up and down them stairs in the mansion right there with the rest of the kids. He's got to be in shape and know them moves.
Hey, but he was in first place. He probably was. Now I'm gonna rewatch that scene and see which place he's gonna end up in.
It was cool to see the path that Claus took to becoming the prophet. Like, what a great time for him to fall into. The hippie movement seems to be right up his alley.
Exactly.
And of course, Claus being Claus, he takes it way too far and ends up forming a cult. But that was his time frame, I think.
Is it a cult? Is it really a cult?
Yes, absolutely. It's a cult. Allison said spot on. No, there ain't no whitewashing it. That is a cult. And then while on the bus, like you were saying, Ben seemed to be crushing on a little cutie into her book. Like, of course, that has to be the reason he wants to get back to San Fran. So they're going to have to touch on that some more for us.
That's a really interesting relationship. Even if they did get quote unquote together, because he is dead, she is not.
Well, what if we find out that she's one of the 49 and she's got a special power that can see and relate to him? But she was just so into her book that she wasn't like looking at him, but maybe there's something there that they can correlate with each other.
Maybe. If they really don't touch on it by at least like having like a cliffhanger at the end of the season, or possibly give like a preview into like, a teaser for like the next season, I'm just gonna just like hang my hat with that freaking theory about the other like individuals born that day. Because again, it's still weird how only 7 of them got abilities, and we don't hear like an inkling of anything else about it.
Yeah, and absolutely, they have to touch on that. They're gonna have to bring in other people that are gonna have powers, and we won't even see it coming. Oh, whoa, yeah, there was 49 of them. Or 40, yeah. So, I think so. They're gonna have to. And I have to admit, like, I like when a show has a signature opening, like in Invincible, how they'd always show that like the title and blood splatter.
Mm-hmm.
And like this was my favorite opening to date when all the birds like came together to form that umbrella. I don't know. I just had to say something that was tight. I'm liking the opening. And it was good to see like Diego's still with us. Like, I mean, that was a hell of a cliffhanger they left us on. Excuse me, last week. And it seems like Lila's like his own little personal guardian angel. Is she like, she's not shy about inflicting a little pain to get him to act right either. It's like he already had to be thinking some kind of way about this woman.
Lila.
She is just doing it. And 5 seems pretty indifferent to like whether Diego lived or died. Is he really that callous, or was he just being his own little normal smartass?
He already seen his sibling die but once, and been by himself for, I forgot, it was like how long was it? 45 years or something like that. It was like a long time. So at this point, like his humanity is just like losing itself. And hell, if he goes out to be, his own father, makes sense.
We already know he had little to no love for anybody. Unbelievable. Also have to give a shout out to the diegetic music score. What's up, Linda R? You are right. The music in this is profound. I mean, it's amazing, like how they find all these random songs that fit the narrative just so perfectly while it's taking place. Not to mention all the hits that we actually do know and love. Like, what do you think about the music in this show?
Love it every single minute of it. Even if I don't know a song, I'm just like, okay, what the hell is this song? And put it on my playlist.
Oh, it's amazing. And it's like the way the words, like, if you're not watching this show in captions, what are you doing? Because
Yeah.
it's amazing when you get to read like the words of the song while the action's going on. Like, it is literally just exactly what's happening on the screen. It's so tight. Yeah, I am absolutely the music. The way, I mean, how many hours did they go pouring through old random songs that you've never heard of just to get that? Like, that's amazing. And if you were out by yourself on some dark country road, are you stopping for some creepy milkman standing in the middle of the road?
Hell no. Either I run him over or just go the opposite direction. Or just
I'm
make a U-turn. Like, what the hell?
You're by yourself out in the middle of the road. Are you kidding me? And you're gonna be just, hey, you got your hand behind your back and walking towards me slowly? Yeah, no, there's nothing ominous going on. I'm like, dude, yeah, that was not by yourself on you. Keep it moving. And I'm convinced the Swedes are like ex-stormtroopers. Like, they can't hit nothing. Like, walked right up on her sitting in a car and couldn't hit her, shooting straight down a row of corn and couldn't hit her. I'm like, something's going on with this. Like, these are supposed to be some of the best assassins out and they can't hit nothing.
I was just about to say that earlier, but since we're now on to actual scene with them, like the commission knows who they're dealing with. This is the Umbrella Academy. Send better people, damn it.
Exactly. What's up, Peter Griffin? I see you out there. Welcome back. Welcome back.
Because didn't they mention like Hazel and Cha-Cha were like the best? So now you send these three, stooges, and still nothing.
Yeah, it's absolutely ridiculous. But of course, by the end of the episode, we do figure out and we find out why. But because I was like, this is starting to get on my nerves now. Like, you're sending back three, not one, not two, but three assassins that are supposed to be amazing. What we get. So that was just crazy. But we do get that paid off, and it makes sense. Just saw the little thing come up. I hope we don't start stuttering. Probably
Yeah,
down
just
there.
said it for a sec just then.
Oh, it's terrible. Terrible. I didn't clear it before we went on. It looks like it's back now, but yeah, I hate that. Good Lord. But it was cool to see Vanya use her powers again and with no water around. So I guess she doesn't need water unless she just drank some water and used that. But that was the one time we saw her like be able to use her powers without water in cornfields and stop that bullet. So that was pretty tight. And then I was like, did Vanya kill one of the Swedes with that blast or just knock him back? But then we see later in the episode that he was still alive. Like I said, I was writing this as we were going. But either way, the blast that Vanya created, like, enabled Five to track down his sister. And that is just, Vanya's far and away the most powerful of them all, like, without question. Can all of them together take her down, you think?
Nope, because almost didn't all of them together try to take her down in the finale of season 1, and they still failed.
I mean, yeah, trying to sneak up on her back and everything, and she just put them all on blast. Like, I don't know, is she literally indestructible and unkillable? I mean, that's the way it's starting to look, because she didn't even know she had powers, but as soon as that guy popped that bullet, them powers came to life real quick.
Yep, and you would expect that she's still kind of like vulnerable because of her amnesia plot, but nope.
Yep. Yeah, that's insane. And I love the next scene, like with the kids following Luther, just like in Rocky, and then he falls on his face thinking he saw Allison, and then one of the kids just spews off a profanity at him. Like, Luther just looks at him, he's like, "Alrighty then." And keeps
For a second, I thought that was Allison, and then I'm like, wait a minute, you're telling me this one time you decided to jog in this neighborhood, you now spot Allison out of the blue? Like, did you never jog before? Did you ever walk around this place before? But then I was like, okay, it wasn't Allison, so I'm like, okay, I'm all right.
Yeah, that would have been a little too plot convenient. I wouldn't have liked that. And then Five Vanya crouching in the corn and tells her to come with him. And he's glad to see that he still has the use of her powers, but she tore that field up. Like I said, she's amazing. And then the excuse me. And then the woman Luther saw while jogging got him thinking, like, well, maybe Allison's still alive. I'm like, how would he not already think that? Like, just seeing her now, all of a sudden he thinks she, like, that's what kicks you back in? That was kind of weird. But Ruby doesn't want Luther moping around, so he says he'll see what he can do and try to track her down for him. And speaking of tracking down Allison finds Claus and is all too happy to reconnect with a sibling. Like, this was also when she reveals that she hasn't used her powers since the Vanya incident. So we get another question answered that nope, she hasn't used her powers since she's been here.
Yep, which made sense because ever since before then season one we learned like the last time she used her ability was with her daughter, and then that pretty much was like a downward spiral to her divorce and her losing her kid. Then she ended up using it during pretty much a life and death situation when it came to her and Vanya. So now that she's back, I'm not surprised, but also we were wondering, okay, how long was it going to take for her to heal? And it seemed like it took like a year for her to heal and then get to know her new husband. They got married, and she still hasn't even used her abilities until again a life or death situation happens.
And what else are you supposed to do? You're supposed to let a man die? It's like, come on. Of course she had to use it right then. But even Lindar, she wants to know what Vanya's real power is because she thinks she's just scratching the surface with it. You think so?
Oh, most definitely.
Oh, got more to come. Can't wait to see it. Is there no owner of that pet store that we keep visiting? Like, why did it take the handler to tell that boy not to tap on the glass? And then later, a woman just sticking her arm in a tank and checking for treasures? Like, what is this place?
When I first saw it, I was like, okay, so are we gonna see like the origin story to the guy in the fish tank we saw in a previous episode? Like, what's up here?
That's what I'm like. Does AJ own this place or what? I was thinking the same thing. Like, man, this is just, yeah, this is just a weird place. And what do you think the handler told that little boy to make him pee his pants like that?
I don't know. I'm afraid to learn what she said.
Anybody else find it weird, like how little empathy the handler has for like human life, but like gets upset about tapping on a fish tank? Like, does she have a secret crush on AJ or what?
Possibly, like maybe she just remembered like hearing AJ say that in the past, or she just like he just says it again just to the kid or so.
I was just like, doesn't give two F's for human life, but these little goldfish, no, no, no. It was nice to see Allison stand up to those men about postponing the sit-in, but they needed a strong voice without her husband there, and she was definitely up to the task. It was like, you already know my girl Allison will get it in. And that was a pretty clever way for Ben to get them to release Allison's husband. Like, can he affect things in the real world now alone? Like, or does he still need Claus to be kind of like the conducive force? Because Claus was telling him not to brag after Ben got that guy to release Allison's husband. So does he even need Claus anymore?
I still at least he needs to have Klaus in the facility. That's at least like he can't like do anything without like Klaus around.
So he's got that Wi-Fi. He just needs in the vicinity. All right. Because I was wondering like that. Klaus was like, "Oh, don't brag." Like, oh, so Ben did do it, but I guess he really did need Klaus. Yeah, they need to touch on that a little bit. And another shout out to the coffee loving sipper number 5. Like, it just warms the heart knowing that some show writer out there loves coffee every little bit as much as I do. Like, I totally get it. Like all the like little nods they give to Java in this show. I like that. Just a little thing, but I'm there for it. Would you believe 5 hearing his crazy shortened version of the events in Vanya's life? Like, if you were Vanya, are you going to believe this guy that just popped out saying all this? Like, after hearing it put that way, I would have been like, it's been real, but gotta go.
Pretty much, but then I believe he uses ability in front of her, so then it's like, okay, I gotta believe him now. And even then, at least he told like Vanya like the whole truth, as opposed to Luther, who's like leaving some gaps of knowledge within, like, oh, so end of the world and such, and who caused it, and X, Y, and Z.
I can't believe how just nonchalant Luther is about it. You're like, you know it's coming and you just don't care. Like, is life just not worth living without Allison? Like, why is he so nonchalant about that?
If it doesn't involve Allison, he's always nonchalant.
That's just messed up. And 5 was pretty smart with his selective wordplay. Like when Vanya asked him what caused the apocalypse, like you're saying Luther told him, but was that really a good thing? Like, I thought it was kind of smart how 5 put it in. Like, oh, the moment, then replied the asteroid. Like, he kind of chilled for a minute and he's like, nah, because he's smart enough to know that she's not going to go in a good way and bad things happen when Vanya gets upset.
Mm-hmm.
And why was 5 happy to like sit and sip coffee, but as soon as Vanya makes a call, he's all, we don't have time for this. We got to go.
I know, they just hang it up. I'm like, dude, what the hell?
Yeah, that's just rude. I'm like, wait a minute. I mean, I get it. I'm always down. You always have time to sit and sip a little cup of Joe, but Why all of a sudden when she needs to do something, it's time to go? I don't know. I thought that was messed up. Like you told that woman to leave the pot, now all of a sudden you're in a hurry. Like, that don't add up. And is that little boy that Vanya watches going to end up having powers? Do you think?
Nah, I don't think so.
I don't think so. He's just autistic or whatever, and that's just
Mm-hmm.
what it is. When Five hung up Vanya's phone call and said no one's more important than the end of the world, Vanya kind of paused for a moment before agreeing. Are we going to see some love blossom between Vanya and Sissy? And then, oh shit, you already know we do.
Pretty much. Like I didn't spot on it the first, what was it, either the first or second episode, and then you and AK mentioned it. And ever since then, I'm like, okay, it's gonna happen.
You already know. We spotted that. And speaking of no love, I did not need another tighty whitey scene, even if it was Diego. I was like, come on, we need to quit panning in on this. But Lila comes asking like if he wants some moldy tuna, and Diego's not hungry for that. And he wants revenge for his father. Is like he's so mad that he cheap shotted him. But again, like his father called him an amateur, something I noticed Five likes to say.
Really?
Remember that? Right before his dad stabbed him, he goes amateur and stabbed him. And that's something that Five is always saying, like amateurs. I'm telling you, I'm going to keep popping these out as the show goes on, but it adds up. My theory is strong, I think. And Lyla again holds no punches when it comes to controlling Diego. Like when she poked him right in that injury, like, oh, she is brutal. Like he just got stabbed there and you're going to poke a freaking broom handle into it? Like that's ouch. Is Lyla really falling for Diego, do you think?
Of course. And
Real
seeing
deal.
how certain things happen and mentioned in the next episode, I'm like, yeah, most definitely.
Oh, geez. So many questions about her. Like, she said she came home to find her parents dead. Like, what was a little girl that young doing out to, like, be coming home to find her parents dead? But then we see that kind of got tweaked here in the episode. And also, she told us in the last episode that it was her mom who told her how to fight. I'm like, what? Taught you how to fight when you were 4? So, I mean, things are just not adding up. Like, they were letting us know what was coming before we even saw it.
At the same time, she is in a loony bin, so it's like, how much could we rely on what she says?
There is that. There is that. And poor Diego just getting all the mixed signals. Like, tries to go in for a kiss and just gets the fire slapped out of him. She's like, I don't understand you. It's like, cause she crazy. But poor Elliot out there just trying to like appreciate his tuna mold and having to listen to clothes being slammed against the window. And it's like, well, those two are in the other room just acting like wild dogs. It's like, can this man just enjoy the tuna mold he just made?
Nope.
I was cracking up. And then the final piece, the handler bathing, reading that file with 3 photos, one of them being a picture of Five and the other one was a picture of Hargreaves. Like, dude, I think they were telling us right there with those two above each other, they're the same person.
All right, Mr. Westworld.
I'm just telling you, just all these facts after facts after facts be ending up, adding up. Oh, man, could be worse. Could have been. No, it could have been worse. It could have been those referees refereeing that Chicago game. Good God, that was gross. But anyway, back to Umbrella. Jack Ruby finds Allison for Luther so he can take a trip, and only to be met by Allison's new hubby, and that was awkward.
It was, damn it, it was.
Poor Ray just getting out of jail and then finding out his wife has not 1 but 2 brothers that aren't exactly brothers. You know, his head's already spinning.
I would be too. And then how I'm not sure if it was it this episode or previous or next? No, it was this episode where he starts being the question no, it's next episode. He starts being a question like everything about her.
And speaking of her, boy, she was so brave to be the first one through that door. Like, how dope was that? All the patrons start getting all uppity with her, and then the rest of their crew comes strolling in single file. Like, that would have made such a huge statement. I love that. That was pretty dope.
Yep. At the moment they said like she was pretty much like within the civil rights like movement group, I was okay. We're probably gonna have her within a scene, like either the sit-in or something that was like instrumental within like the history of it.
Absolutely. I don't even know what man. But yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. You knew it was going to go here. And I'm glad they did. And I mean, they did it perfect. Like I said, I mean, thank God I wasn't born in that time because I would not have made it to 20. There's no way. Like, yeah, it'd have been a bad thing.
That much of a rebel, DJ?
Oh, you have no idea. Yeah, it would have been. I would not have made it out of my teenage years, but I'd have taken some bastards with me. We then get to see the reason Claus wanted to get into Dallas, and it's where his boyfriend is originally born. And like, isn't Ben being a little hypocritical, slamming Claus for wanting to see Dave when I'm pretty sure the only reason, like we were talking about, he wants to go back to San Fran is to see that girl he saw reading that book?
Exactly. That's why I was like, Ben, shut up. It's like previous season, the sin that despised the most was Luther. Now this season, it's Ben. I'm like, come on, man, just chill.
Oh, that's crazy. And how many times a week does Claus fire Ben? Like, how lost would Claus be if Ben ever really did say, "All right, fine," and just bounce? Like, I don't know. I don't know. They seem pretty tight together. I don't think Claus would make it without Ben at this point.
I still want to know why of all ghosts, Ben is like always there. It's like, is he conjuring himself up there? Is it still like Klaus subconsciously doing it? Like, what's the thing there?
I think it is like he calls him Casper, and I think it is kind of that thing. Like, it's the one friendly ghost he knows he can rely on. Like, if I have to see all these ghosts, let me at least have my brother here. And Ben can probably like keep some of the other ghosts at bay too, because he's probably more powerful than them. So I mean, I'm probably helps Claus in more than one way, more than we even know yet. And then they see multiple cop cars heading the other way, and they remember it once. Oh, Allison. And poor Allison was going through it. Like, and then when her supposed moral support gets there, and he was just cold and standoffish, talking about what weird day he had. Like, you walk in and see another man pouring sugar over your wife's head, and you want to pout about some shit. Like, I don't know. That was kind of crazy. Like, put that on the back burner, man. You got bigger fish to fry right now. And like I said, again, I would have never made it.
No, right? It's like, come on now, let's deal with this situation. Then, if y'all survive this, then deal about the whole siblings talk.
Yeah, exactly. Talk about that shit later. You got, like I said, you got bigger fish to fry right now. But poor Luther's so heartbroken. Like, all he wants to feel is pain. And like, what's Ruby going to do with him after not winning that fight? And basically, we get to see next episode. You know, that's not going to end well for him.
Nope, he's on his shit list, and I doubt he's not going to end up killing him. But I won't be surprised if he tries to send people out to kill him.
And then speaking of pain, the cops finally get the excuse to take out Ray. And like, once outside of the diner, they just start to beat him profusely. And like, in that instance, like, why is he worried about what Allison said to make that cop stop beating him? Like, at that point, just be happy that he stopped using your fucking ass as a whooping post. Like, didn't he have that backwards a little bit? I mean, I get wanting to know answers, but I don't know. I didn't like the way that went down.
My question is this. You told your other husband, your ex-husband, that you have abilities. But then again, the whole Umbrella Academy situation, so they knew. But why didn't you just tell freaking Chestnut like you have abilities?
I think in her mind, she just never planned on using them again. Like, the way she said she feels better without using them, and she said bad things always happen when she does use them. So I think in her mind, she was just planning on putting it on the back burner and not never using it again. Maybe that's why.
Nah, still should have told. That or the whole her being like adopted and she has like siblings. Like she could have said that at least.
Yeah, looks like the chat's with us, Peter Griffin. Oh yeah, Ben was just mad that he couldn't see his girl. So yeah, being a little hypocritical there, Ben. Let's be on the same page here. But I mean, he died at a young age, so he's gonna think like that anyway. And again, after seeing that cop saying like "you're next," he would have heard a rumor that would have pulled his gun out and shot himself in the nuts.
Oh yeah.
Are you kidding me? I heard a rumor you just shot your own nuts off. Get gone. But Claus comes to pull Allison away from the trouble, and like, are we ever going to see Ray again? And then we do actually get to see him, so that got answered. But speaking of beatings, Luther gets one put on him. Like, love really does hurt. My man is going through it.
Yep. Got his ass beat by. I always see that tall actor in like a lot of like freaking films, and he's like kind of like literally the same role of him being like the muscle or whatever. I think the last thing I seen him in was, I'm not sure if he was in the movie 300, but I do remember seeing him in Sherlock Holmes. I think Sherlock Holmes like fighting him.
Yeah, was he the one doing the bare knuckle fight? Was that him?
Yeah, I think so.
That's funny.
No. It was like a second fight he was in,
okay.
And like that guy showed up.
Yeah, he's always going to be the muscle, though. I mean, look at him. He's kind of typecast. But back to Diego and Lila, and she decides to take a late night stroll to the pet shop with no owner. And there she finds a hidden key and seems to know exactly where the door is that it belongs to. And lo and behold, we find out that she is none other than the handler's daughter. And again, so many questions. Like, is that a real mom that, like, is that her real mom that became the handler after her death? Or did she just find her the same way she found Five, like scared and alone, and over time, like became her mom? Like, is the handler some kind of badass fighter and she is the one who taught Lila how to fight? Like, I had so many questions at the end of this.
It was like the previous stream, and I was agreeing with Jake in the chat, and I was like, I just don't trust her. Like we just saw her just randomly within some sign. We don't know how she got there, what's her issues or anything. Then she's gonna tag along with Diego. Doesn't even truly even know Diego. There's times where she like agree with Diego, don't agree with them. This back and forth, a cat and mouse. I'm like, what's up with this chick? And then boom, here we got it. The freaking daughter of the handler of all people.
That was amazing. That was amazing. And like I said, I love how they're just paying off so many of our questions so quick, and they're not dragging it out and making us wait. So that was episode 3. Gonna knock out a few trivia questions and keep it moving. So if you know the answers, write them in the chat box. If you're watching this later, write them in the comment section down below. Question 1: what was the name of the cafe Claus got tossed from?
Was it the same one that they did the sit-in?
It was.
Statler's or something like that?
It was indeed Statler's. Nicely done. Good callback. Good callback. What was written on the sign of the window above open? Kind of a deep dive right there. And I tell you,
yeah, that one I don't even know.
It was driving me nuts. I was looking on the internet, like, what language is that? Why would it say that? But yeah, it was a trip. Go back and see that and tell me, why does it say that? That's some secret code to somebody somewhere. I don't know if that's just like the cast playing with each other or what, but that was really weird. Next one. What was written on the trash bin outside the restaurant Claus got tossed from?
Have a nice day.
Incorrect. Good guess, though.
Dang, I got so many good ones on previous stream that you're like, nah, I got to deep dive every single damn one.
I like keeping going. You ain't getting most of mine. I'll give you a couple, but you can't get them all again. You can't be having that. What year did Claus visit India?
India, 1962.
There he is. I knew I had to get you back on track with an easy one. What part of India was Claus in when he came out of the water?
Varanasi or something like that.
Varanasi, yeah. Or Varanasi. I'm going to go with that. What year did Claus leave San Francisco?
1963.
There we go. What did the kid call Luther when he fell on his face while jogging?
Dang, I forgot it. I think you mentioned it too in the stream. No, you didn't mention it because you knew you had a trivia question. Damn
oh, see, you see how it working. You see how it works. Oh, he's got the inner one. What's up?
Wait, you called him a monkey or an ape?
Nope, that was not it. What did the kid call Luther when he fell on his face while jogging? That's a good one. Oh, if you know that one, write it in. What did Five call the Swedes? What nickname did Five have for the Swedes?
Was it Dicks, Drugs, and...
Nope. And that was, you're thinking of what the handler called him. What did Five call the Swedes? What was his nickname for the Swedes? That's
I don't know.
It's a great nickname. How long did Allison say she was without her voice? I know you know this one.
Yeah, it was a year.
Yep. What was Allison's husband's name?
Chestnut?
What's his first name?
Ray.
There he is. What did the waitress call Five when he told her to leave the pot of coffee?
Oh, this is hilarious. I forgot what it was. I was dying when she said, was it little shit or something?
Lippy little shit. That was awesome. Lippy little shit. Absolutely. How long did Vanya say she's been there without her memory?
Is it 3 months?
That is incorrect.
2 months?
That is also incorrect.
Damn.
How long did Vanya say she's been there without memory?
3 weeks?
That is also incorrect.
2 weeks?
That is also incorrect. Oh, all around it. That's so funny. In how many days did 5 tell Vanya the Earth would end in a nuclear doomsday?
8 days.
That is absolutely correct. What's the name of the little boy that Vanya watches?
Henry?
Close. Henri is incorrect. What is the name of the little boy that Vanya watches? Get it in. Let's see where we at. And what kind of car did Vanya borrow from Sissy?
A Chevy?
What type of car? What model was it? That is incorrect. I mean, I guess, yeah, it could be a Chevy. It probably is a Chevy, actually. We're looking for the type of car. Keeping it moving. How old was Lila when she came home and found her parents dead?
She 4?
Yeah, I thought that was an easy one. Absolutely. She was 4, correct. How long did Lila say her parents died? Or how did Lila say her parents died? I'm sorry.
If she was being honest, they were shot. I don't know if she said that.
And she said something specific. She said, my parents died in...
Car crash?
That is incorrect. And then what name does Claus call Ben when he gets back in the car?
Damn, I don't know this one.
I said this one during the stream. I actually let this one out. What name does Claus call Ben when he gets back in the car? Absolutely. Linda, enjoy your food. Hope you have a good dinner. And last but not least, what room number was on the key that Lila grabbed out of the fish tank?
5?
That'd be a good guess, but incorrect. What room number was on the key that Lila grabbed out of the fish tank? So if you know those, write them in the box. If you're watching this later, go ahead and write them in the comment section down below.
Oh yeah, I got 2 of them.
You did. You
First one. What was the address Jack gave Luthor that Alice's was staying in?
What was the address? Oh, that is a good one. Because he told her it was Dallas, South Dallas, Texas, or whatever. But he did give an actual address, didn't he?
Mm-hmm.
Nice. That one I did not get. That's a good number one. 1108 something.
Nope.
I'm thinking of something else. Ooh, nice one. If you know that one, write it in the chat down below, or write in the comments down below later. That is a good one right there. I like that one. What's it? Give me another one.
Oh, well, one of the hobos had like a sign. What did the sign read?
The end is nigh.
Ah, you got that one.
Mm-hmm. All right. Gonna click it in. Knock that one out. Save. Bring this one back. Oh shit! Oh wait, it's down here. Is that it? Boom! The Umbrella Academy Season 2, Episode 4, The Majestic 12. And I love how they're not making us wait for a lot of the questions we have. Again, like they're just giving it to us, which I really appreciate. And we start out right off with how Lila came to call the handler Mom. And we see how the handler raised Lila. Like, does she really love her? Like, do you think Lila really loves her new mom? Or is she really just crazy and planning on killing her someday?
Nah, I think she likes her. But I'm more intrigued on who the hell was doing the killing, though. Because we didn't even see the damn face of the person. So I'm like, was it number 5 that killed her parents or what? Because if it was just some rando, they would have showed us some rando's face. But not seeing the face, I'm very curious.
I mean, it could have been like a younger, skinnier Hazel, but I don't know. I don't think so. I think, yeah, maybe that could have been 5 doing the killing with her. And I think maybe her and the 5 have had a thing before. They might have had a fling back in the day. Because when she found him, he was a lot older.
True.
And then we also hear that the Swedes are not ex-stormtroopers, but indeed working for the handler. And I was so glad to hear that. I was like, come on. Like, this is just getting ridiculous. How can they miss everything every time? Like, point blank sitting in a car, like down a skinny hallway, down a row of corn, and they can't hit nothing. So I was really happy to hear that they're not ex-stormtroopers, but working with a handler and missing on purpose. That was a good one we got. And then the handler says to protect number 5 at all cost. Is it just because she's crushing hard on him, or do you think there's a deeper plot at play?
Deeper plot of play. I don't know what it is. Because that one, what was it? Episode, was it 2? That we saw that she was still alive? And like, I was sworn that she's probably getting ready to go kill this guy. But nope. Now it's like protect him at all costs.
Yeah, I think, like I said, I think they had a fling back in the day and she's trying to get back at it. Vanya's there when Luther wakes up and she gets him to tell her, like, what 5 wouldn't, that she's the cause of the apocalypse. And then Ruby comes in raging about the fight and how he owes dangerous people. And are these going to be the same people that tell him to kill Oswald, do you think?
Who's Oswald again?
Lee Harvey Oswald, the man that they arrested and tried to blame the killing of Kennedy on.
Oh, so repeat your question then.
I'm saying, do you think this is Jack Ruby's? I mean, if you know, everybody who knows real history or whatever, like Lee Harvey Oswald's the one they blamed for killing Kennedy, and then Jack Ruby was an old gangster that owned like nightclubs and strip clubs, and he's the one that came in and killed Lee Harvey Oswald. And he must have come in. He had obviously had connections with the cops to even be let in and know when that was all going down. So it's all definitely like it's bad. We know exactly what happened, and they're not letting the truth out. So anyway, do you think instead of having maybe Ruby do it, maybe he's going to try to have Luther be the one to go kill Lee Harvey Oswald? Like, this is the only way you're going to be able to make it up because I owe dangerous people. So now you got to go make it right.
Nah, but if so, this is like crazy because again, this whole season is rolls around with the whole Kennedy assassination.
Mm-hmm.
Because even go back to when it comes to Dave, what made him enlist was the whole Kennedy assassination. To the point where Diego wants to kill the person who's going to end up killing Kennedy. So then we learned in season 1 that number 5 was on a mission with the whole assassination attempt. Yeah, okay. Now with this episode, we learn what Majestic 12 are up to with Mr. Kennedy.
Mm-hmm. So yeah, I can't wait to see how they unwind all this. And Luther rages and throws Vanya out, and like she's mad at 5 for not telling her the whole truth. And he said, like, in his defense, when she gets mad, shit blows up. Like, she's already seen evidence of that out in the cornfield. Like, why are these kids like so hard-headed? Like, I mean, you would have done something bad if I'd have told you. I had to keep things safe. Like, all these kids are just knuckleheads, kind of.
Hey, talking stops conflict. Without conflict, we don't got a story.
There you go. And I get Luther feeling life's not worth living without Allison, but why is Vanya being so selfish? Like, she seems to believe 5, and yet she just wants to run away from it in denial.
True. Because just for a while, like, she was kind of like happy that she found like some remnants of her past because of amnesia, but now she's like, I don't want none of this mess. I'm out.
Yeah, I'm gonna run away back to the simple life. It's like, wait a minute, you just heard the world's gonna end, and you just want to ignore it? Like, come on. And then Luther loses Jack, and Ray ran away from Allison. And will this reunite in 2 siblings, like, and give them an excuse to get back together? Like, Luther lost Jack Ruby, Ray left Allison. So is that basically just the excuse we needed for basically Luther and Allison to reunite and get back together?
I want Luther and Allison to get back together, but she's pretty much has gotten a life right now for a year with Ray Chester. But at the same time, it's not going to work out because she doesn't belong in this timeline. And she has to get back to the current day and stop that apocalypse. So it's just a can of worms here.
No, it's ugly. It's ugly. And 5 asks if it's too late to be unadopted. Like, do you think any of them will ever meet their real parents?
Highly doubt it.
It's not going to happen in this show. Claus wakes to Allison freaking out about Ray not coming home last night, and then he tries to calm her by telling her a completely distorted version of the Frog and the Scorpion fable. I was cracking up.
I know. I was like, okay, does he actually tell like the actual fable? But nope. He's like, what? A ride across the pond for like what, $20, and then it was like what, 10 and 15. All right, like what's up there?
Oh, I was crying. That whole thing was hilarious. That was great. And then Five is a witty little bastard. Like he had all the verbal stabs on Diego, and when he tells him that he knows where his father's going to be that night, like I don't know. They also figure that their dad's part of the secret organization, and the way it was going round and round, like why does Five hate Diego so much, or is it just like siblings kind of sparring on each other?
I think he pretty much almost it's like a love-hate relationship, I guess, he has with like everyone. Even though that when he did travel back in time and like the only two siblings he did call out was I believe it was Vanya and someone else. I don't think it was Diego. I think he called his father out and then he called Vanya, I believe. Or was it Ben? I know Vanya was like one of the siblings he called out.
Called out when?
After like he jumped into the future the first time and like into the
Oh,
apocalypse.
okay, yeah.
I think he called like I think it probably was like Ben and Vanya, but or maybe not Ben because I'm not sure if he died yet. But I'm pretty sure he did call Vanya out.
So they got to do it. And Vanya heads back into the farm. Like, will she tell Sissy that the end of the world is coming? And if so, do you think Sissy will tell her to like help save it and like get her to go back and help, or just enjoy their last couple days together?
I'll be surprised if she does tell Sissy like it's gonna be the end of the world. And she's like, "Are you losing it now?"
Or maybe she'll like, her and Sissy have a thing, and now that she's found true love again, she will think that the world's worth saving and go out and help because of that. Maybe not tell Sissy to worry her, but just be like, I have to go, but I'll be back, I promise.
Yeah, I can see that happening.
Absolutely. And then what was like Claus thinking? Like, how was a young boy from that era going to come close to understanding the madness that Claus was talking about in that situation?
I don't even know. Then it was just like a messed up meeting because then his uncle came around and then it kind of put two and two together on like kind of like really why he was enlisted to begin with. It seems like he was kind of like forced into it because his uncle pretty much like put two and two together and like learned that his nephew was gay. So he's like, oh, now I gotta try to like man you up and thing and try to like get him into the military and stuff.
Yeah, that could have been. And plus, like his dad was in the military, his uncle was in the military, his grandpa fought in the military, so he just thought it was like his family legacy to do so. But how does Claus think this kid's like, hey, I'm your lover from the future, and you don't need to do like, what is he gonna think? Like, yeah, that
Now at
was
this point in time, Ben should have came up and been like, dude,
just
rethink this now.
grab him back and be like, what are you doing, man? But then again, we wouldn't have got to this storyline. So yeah, that was crazy. What Claus, you got to be smarter than that. And poor Allison, like so much for better or for worse, Ray just lost all faith in his wife real quick. Like so fast to judge without hearing her side of it. Like I don't know. Would he just rather let that cop beat him to death? What is his point?
I don't know. It's just like a whole bunch of stuff. Just again, just coming to him is like, okay, not only does she have siblings, but I don't even think like she even explained to him how, like the whole abilities crap. It was just like now he kind of thinks that she's like some type of undercover agent who
Yeah,
just miraculously a year ago just happens goes to the not to the diner, excuse me, the salon of where they have their meetings and crap. I'm just like, come on, man.
season 4 they'll go back in time and meet their parents. That'd be really cool. I just hope we get a season
Maybe,
4.
maybe.
Let it keep going through season 4 because, like I said, I'm loving every minute of this show. It's amazing.
It'll be interesting if they even like want to even see their parents because how they end up getting to Hargreaves that he pretty much like they sold them to him.
Hmm.
So it's like you really want to be a parent who pretty much just sold you.
But again, I mean, it's not like they went to. I mean, yeah, I get it. But again, this happened in a day. Like, it's not like this was nothing normal. A lot of these were like probably freaked out little girls that like, whoa, why am I pregnant? I didn't do anything, and going through life. Or women like their husband's away on a trip for the weekend, and all of a sudden they come back and like, hey, I just had a kid. Like, what? Like, I can see in certain situations back in that day, like, hey, let me just get rid of this and act like it never happened. I'm not saying it's right. I'm just saying I understand. But yeah, that would be crazy. I mean, all of a sudden, I mean, that's not normal. You wake up fine, nothing happened, hadn't had any sex, nothing happened. And then all of a sudden by breakfast, you're pregnant. And then by dinner, you're having the baby. Like, I don't know, that's pretty wild. But after a smack back to reality, Claus decides to throw years of sobriety down the drain and it is party time, or so he thought. I was loving his little dance through the liquor store. That was amazing.
Yeah, even the song that was playing, I enjoyed it.
Oh, that was great. But how heated would you have been? Like, you come home to find the cult that you ditched states away just hanging out inside your mansion because they just thought they'd let themselves in?
Because seriously, Klaus should have came up with a different like hiding spot.
Yeah,
Like of all places to go back to, you go back to like one of your places that you had that you owned. Don't think that they would also go there?
yeah, of course. I mean, he should have expected it. But for them to be waiting inside the house, like, who do you think? Oh, I'd have been lit. But as Diego and crew try to sneak into their little party, Five is quick to let Lila know that he doesn't trust her for nothing, which is funny since she's actually there to try to keep him safe, but that's going to be a weird thing. And then Allison runs into Luther at a rib joint, and my man was eating well. Like, I wanted some of them ribs. They look hella good. But what was that pan out showing just the two of them there? Like, all of a sudden it faded out, everybody was gone, and it was just the two of them. Was that just showing, like, when the two of them are together, nothing else matters?
Yeah, pretty much. Just like in the previous season when they had that dance. There's a callback to that.
Straight Metallica, nothing else matters. I love how nonchalant Luther was about telling Allison about Doomsday. Like, oh, by the way, we did it again. Did what? Ended the world. Like, my guy is in some serious denial or something.
Hey, it's pretty much his world is crushed because now, oh, I'm about to get back with Allison. Oh, shoot, you're married. You can't catch a break.
Oh, yeah. Poor Luther. Oh, none of them doing. But once inside the gala, like, I could not get past Diego's long, scruffy ass hair. Like, in that type of party, he would have stuck out like a sore thumb. There is just no way he would have lasted more than 2 minutes in there. That was just, I don't know why I couldn't get past that in this scene. Like, dude, in that day and age, all those guys were all clean and cut. And yeah, there's no way that Diego and his long, scruffy hair would have made it 3 feet inside that door without being a problem.
Mm-mm.
And how great was that awkward meeting, like, of the lady that was his robot mom, that his robot mom was created after? Like, he says out loud, just the thought of, like, oh, that's nasty. I was cracking up. But that was just weird, like, meeting the one that his mom was made after. I never even thought about something like that. That was tight.
Exactly. I always wondered, like, was he ever, like, of all people, like, to model after? It's like, was it just his own creation? But nope, it was inspired by someone.
Yeah. Even the name, like, all the way down the name, Diego even knew that was going to be a real name. Like, that was crazy. He didn't even switch it. So I guess that was, like, maybe one of the true loves of his life after the other lady that died.
Mm-hmm.
We see the Swedes are also here, and they are here to kill someone. Are they here to kill someone, or just make it look like they're still hunting number 5? Like, were they really there to assassinate somebody, or just make it look like they're hunting 5?
Nah, they're still trying to hunt people down. Fail at it miserably yet again. Actually, they're kind of almost close, but then they're gonna fail yet again.
But we already see, like, the handler talking about it, like, hey, you're going to be safe because the handler already said that they're working with her. So I can't wait to see what that all conspires with, because it's not, I mean, obviously they should be able to kill people, but they're doing this on purpose just to make it look good. So I guess they're kind of faking it for the commission, and it's the commission's watching, maybe.
Unless the handler is lying.
Can't trust it. How sweet was that when Sissy was ready to leave everything, including her husband, like, to go with Vanya and keep her safe? Like, we can leave now. I'll keep you safe. I was just like, oh, Sissy in love.
Yep. And the next thing you know, she ends up dying.
Sissy?
Yep. I'm calling it now. She's gonna die.
No.
Her and the kid. And that's how Vanya like gets angry, and next thing you know, her memories start flooding back in.
No. Don't say that. We can't be having Sissy die. That would be terrible. Oh, that would be awful. Oh, who do you trust less, the handler or Pogo at this point?
Oh my gosh. For AK, I gotta say Pogo.
Oh man, I'm the handler. I don't trust the handler, but she's doing something, so I don't know. She might be doing it all for love. So yeah, maybe Pogo and his lying ass. Oh man, Vanya's powers seem endless. I mean, is there anything that Vanya can't do?
Is there something that she can't do? That's a good question.
Other than, like, maybe fly. Like, it seems like her powers are literally just endless. I mean, it's
She
crazy.
hasn't flied yet?
Vanya fly? No.
Hmm.
She put some other
No,
people
I
up
think
in
I
there.
think in the opening she flies, is she not?
I don't remember. No, I don't think so. I don't remember Vanya ever flying. I know she's levitated some other people and made them look like they were flying, but I've never seen her. I don't think she's flown. When do you think she went? You think in one of the first episodes?
Yeah, first episode of the season. I think she flown. Now I gotta go back on Netflix real quick.
Yeah, because I don't think I remember ever flying. That'd be wild. That seems like something I'd remember. But yeah, she's crazy. I just like, what cannot this girl? Is there anything she can't do? Because she is just mad with hers. And as soon as Vanya said I should go, didn't you just know it was go time with her and Sissy? It's like, oh, I should go. I was like, you ain't going nowhere, girl, but to the bedroom.
Oh, sorry, repeat that.
As soon as Vanya said I should go, when her and Sissy were sitting there, and she's like, I should go. I knew she wasn't going anywhere but the bedroom with Sissy. Like, nowhere. Ain't no way. It's like, Luther gets in on another one. Luther gets in another first. Like, it seems like he's a big fan of the mind-altering drugs. I'm surprised he doesn't hang with Claus more often.
True.
It's like, dude, as soon as he gets something that gets him high or feeling him some kind of way, like dude, you want to forget your pains? Here you go. Want some nitrous? He was on a good one. Oh, him and oh boy were getting it. And then the laughing commisery was on another level. It just shows sometimes you need to let loose and blow off a little steam because they were telling each other about their worst situations and laughing about it. It's like, hey, sometimes you need that mind-altering drug. But Five sees his father and seems to notice something else. Any idea what it was, or was he just tripping on seeing his dad? Like when he saw his dad, he just sat there and stared. It's like, did he notice something, or was he just tripping out because he was looking into his own face?
Oh my gosh. This is how it's going to be every damn stream from now on.
You know it. Oh, man. Oh, during the Avengers scene, during the war? Is that when
Aha, I was right. She can fly. At least she's levitating in the first episode of the season.
Is she?
Yep.
I mean, is that what it was during the Avengers scene?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, I have to go back and check that out. I don't remember that because he was asking I couldn't remember it. I still don't remember that part, but yeah, that makes sense. That Avengers scene was dope. I like the handler. She should marry number 5. Oh, believe. I think she's crushing on him super hard. Luther and Claus shouldn't trip together. Oh, should trip together on some shrooms. I'm telling you, I can't believe Luther doesn't hang out more often because he obviously likes getting high as much as maybe even more than Claus does. Claus is doing it to self-medicate. Luther just needs that release. He's had a rough one. Being left up on the moon for no reason. That would be so ruthless finding out. That'd be horrible. But we see even with a punctured abdomen, Diego is one bad mother. Were the Swedes going easy on him because it's all an act, or is he really that skilled? Because he was pretty good with knives and yet hasn't been able to hit a Swede with one yet. So are the Swedes just acting and kind of going soft on him, or what's that situation?
Nah, I think they're just nerfing Diego at this point. Because just before he's about to go fight them, in the previous episode, didn't they drug him a bit? And then within this episode, the previous one, his father stabbed him, so he's just not at his full strength.
Yeah, but I mean, yeah, exactly. But Diego's doing it, so yeah, he's not at full strength. But again, he's thrown knives, and we know how good he is with knives, and he hasn't been able to hit a Swede yet with one of them. So I think these Swedes are a whole lot better, and yeah, they're just putting on one hell of an act. What's going to happen between Diego and Lyla after he saw her go to save 5 and not him? Is she going to be able to talk her way out of this one?
I wonder. Because even then, it's like, oh, I didn't think your umbrella had it handled. Because you're just a little kid, as opposed to you. But, what they say about love, you ignore the flaws.
It could be. She's pretty silver tongued. She might be able to talk her way out of this one, but man, I don't know.
But now I can see later on in the season where she's supposed to save number 5 who was about to possibly die, and then she might end up choosing Diego.
Oh, you think they're gonna flip it back?
Yeah.
There you go. That could happen.
Because remember, the handler was like, "Oh, if you want to kill someone, kill Diego," and then she was like, she just didn't want to say yes. Oh yeah, I should kill Diego.
That can happen. So what's gonna I swear I have never wished I knew ancient Greek more than watching the end of this episode. Do you have any idea what 5 yelled to Hargraves at the end there?
Nope. And I wanted to look it up, but I was afraid I might get spoiled on something.
I tried looking it up. You can't. Basically, it's what he yelled is from the Odyssey by Homer. I'm just
Oh.
not sure. We're just not sure its actual meaning. Like it's from the beginning of the Odyssey by Homer, but we don't know its actual meaning. Like what he was trying to say by that. So, I want to know. Like what were you? What did you just say? Like, hey, you're me, older. Like, chill out. Quit trying to kill us. We need to talk. I don't know. That's something. Because yeah, I guess basically Hargraves used to read Homer to Pogo, and so obviously a younger Hargraves would know how much the older Hargraves likes Homer, and so he tried to speak to him, letting him know like, "Hey, I'm you. Chill out. We need to speak." I think it was something like that,
Hmm.
but we shall see. I don't know. But I'm telling you, yeah, I'm 100% the five's Hargraves. Why would he be the only one we don't know his name?
But wait a minute. We've seen an older number 5, and he looks nothing like Hargraves, though.
That was a beat up walking through the apocalypse, all shaggy beard and shaggy haired. If he got trimmed down and cut himself all up and got a spa treatment, he might look exactly like Hargreaves.
I don't know. Now I'm 50-50 on this now.
I'm 100%. 5 is Hargraves. There is not a doubt in my mind. Hopefully they let us know by the end of the season. They've been pretty quick about letting things know. But like I said, why would the handler have those pictures of him and have 5's picture above Hargraves in that little file when she was taking a bath? I'm telling you, that is Hargraves. 100%. That is Hargraves on different timelines. I am without a doubt number 5 is Hargraves. I'm calling it. Meant to call it last series. I'm definitely calling it this one. It's a thing. But yeah, it is. I don't know. This whole thing is just amazing. I am loving the trip and can't wait to watch the next 2. Oh, gonna get into some trivia. Just a few quick questions. See how much you saw and remember about the show. If you know the answer, write it in the comments. And we are gonna get it going with what nickname. I already said this one during the stream. What nickname did the handler have for the Swedes?
Don't know.
If you know the answer, write it in the box. If you're watching later, write it down in the comments. What was the nickname the handler had for the Swedes? Keeping it moving. What hospital did Allison call looking for her husband?
Dang.
What hospital did Allison call looking for her husband, Ray? Back on track, getting them. Oh, boom, boom, boom. Lena says, love listening to people's theories. Yeah, I don't know. It just seems too obvious. Maybe it is too obvious and it's not it. But man, to me, I'm 100%. 5 is Hargraves. Gotta be. Got to be. Oh, keeping it moving. When Claus wakes at Allison's, he said he needed 3 things before getting to work on finding her husband: coffee, vitamin B12, and what? When Claus wakes at Allison's, he said he needed 3 things.
Alcohol.
Nope, it was not alcohol. He said he needed 3 things before getting to work. Remember, he was still sober at this point. He said he needed 3 things. Oh, no, he wasn't sober at this point, was he? When Claus wakes at Allison's, he said he needed 3 things before getting to work on finding her husband: coffee, vitamin B12, and what? And yeah, actually he was sober at this point still. You know that answer? Write it down below. How long did Ben say Claus had been sober?
3 years.
There it is, back on track. 3 years. What's the name of the secret society Hargraves belonged to?
Majestic 12.
Name of the episode. There it is. What dance did Diego's father say may be the difference between life or death? What dance did Diego's father say?
Waltz, tango.
Haha, he remembers the scene. That is incorrect. It has a specific name.
Oh my gosh. What is the damn dance? I got name dances now.
You won't know it. I've never heard of it. I'm a DJ. I've never heard of this dance in my life. What dance did Diego's father say may be the difference between life or death? Keeping it moving, just a couple more. Where did Sissy tell Vanya Carl was away on business? Where was Carl away on business when she was gone from Sissy?
Get some milk or something?
Oh, no, it's an actual place. Where did Sissy tell Vanya Carl was away on business? Give you a hint, it's a city.
I mean, it was in New York.
Maybe more of a town, actually.
Yeah, I don't know.
Oh, if you know that answer, write it down below. What did Vanya say Harlan had an obsession with? What What did Vanya say Harlan had a disgusting obsession with?
Who's Harlan? Is that the kid?
Yep.
What wasn't with the record player, was it?
Nope. Oh, that would have been a good question too. What was the kid's name? But yeah, I think I put that in the last one. Maybe not.
Was it hide and seek?
Incorrect. If you know that answer, put it down below. It is a specific thing. What did Vanya say Harlan had an obsession with? And last but not least, when did Elliot say his wife left him? When Elliot and Luther were getting all high on nitrous, when did Elliot say that his wife left him?
Damn, did I write this down? Because I remember. Wait a minute, hold up. Was it 10 years ago?
Oh
No, I know he left. I know Elliot's wife left him for the best friend on their 10th anniversary.
there it is. Boom.
That was crazy. I'm like, what?
That is ruthless. Absolutely. Left him on their 10th anniversary for his best friend. Ouch. Too much, too much. Oh man, but absolutely, I love making theories on this episode, on this series. I'm having a blast watching it. I'm sticking to it. I think 5 is Hargreaves himself, and yeah, I cannot wait to get to the next 2. How about you?
Same.
Oh, it's gonna be a blast. So again, I guess we will try again. Boy, it's rough even with Monday Night Football, but we're gonna go ahead and try to get on back here next Monday night so we can get AK back on here and get some of her thoughts and theories with it. But other than that, we're gonna keep it moving. Hope to see everybody next week, and I hope everybody's having an absolutely fantastic week. And it only gets better from here. Until we see you next time. Peace, everybody.